CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend is a former Homeland Security advisor to President George W. Bush. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we know that this revised travel ban will probably help them pass the legal concerns that the Ninth Circuit and others have had. Security-wise, what do you think it does?
Well, look, I think, one, it's being drafted by White House counsel's office in an attempt to sort of address the legal concerns. You heard Jeff say it won't prevent green card holders, legal visa holders who are in transit from entering the country. I think, look, this is an opportunity, and it's not a total ban. This is a moratorium, if you will, a temporary ban that will allow them to look at the vetting procedures, and then of the 7 countries, if they can meet the new and revised sort of vetting requirements that the new administration will put in place, they will be able to resume entry.
Let's talk about the new national security advisor that he's just chosen, HR McMaster. Every time I hear HR, I keep thinking human resources, but I've learned his name is Herbert Raymond. Yeah. You know him, Fran. What can you tell us about him? You think it's a good choice?
I think it's a brilliant choice. Look, of the people that he was talking to, HR McMaster is both a doer and a thinker, right? Mm-hmm. Going back to his author of Dereliction of Duty, but coming forward, he's talked about our approach to war as being narcissistic, that we view conflict through kind of what we like to do, what we're good at, as opposed to what the enemy's objectives are. He understands the need not only to consider the sort of military aspects, but the transition to a peaceful and stable political process.
Fran, when Michael Morrell was on this show yesterday, he said he saw competing factions right now in and around the National Security Council. I don't know whether you agree with that, but how do you think McMaster's appointment could affect the dynamic right now?
Well, I think, look, the notion that he understands that we have to plan for a peaceful transition to a stable political process indicates that he understands the need for the use of all instruments of national power. He hasn't done that before, but he's going to be challenged with that now. We're, balancing State Department interests, military interests, sort of the longer-term strategic interests of the United States.
But on specific issues, fascinating. He's been particularly hawkish on Russia, including the buildup in the Baltic states, on the fight against ISIS and terrorism. Will that influence policy inside the West Wing?
You know, it's interesting, Norah, because we haven't yet, it's only 30 days in, and we haven't seen the president's national security strategy. And so how you approach particular foreign policy issues, Russia, Iran, China, Syria, really depends on what's the president's strategy. And so there is no better in terms of writing what the national strategy will be. In the Bush administration, it was preemption. What will President Trump's strategy be? And HR McMaster is going to be the one to write that.
All right, Fran Townsend, thanks very much, Fran.